From the very beginning, Apollo was a prominent figure among the gods, drawing attention with both his brilliance and his contradictions. Depicted with golden hair, holding his silver bow or lyre, Apollo appeared serene on the surface, yet he was a god filled with intense passions, deep loves, and powerful angers. In this video, we will explore some of the stories that make him one of the most complex and intriguing gods in Greek mythology. Here are 5 fascinating facts about the Greek god Apollo. Apollo's romances were legendary, and he loved both men and women with equal intensity. Among his countless lovers, 2 stand out for the heartbreak they caused him: the nymph Daphne and the prince Hyacinthus. Apollo's obsession with Daphne began after the mischievous god Cupid shot him with a golden arrow, making him fall deeply in love. However, Daphne was struck with a lead arrow, causing her to feel nothing but disgust for the god. Apollo's relentless pursuit led her to plead with her father, Peneus, to save her. In a final act of desperation, he transformed her into a laurel tree, just as Apollo reached out to embrace her. Heartbroken but undeterred, Apollo declared the laurel sacred and wore its leaves as a crown, a symbol of his enduring, unfulfilled love. Hyacinthus, on the other hand, was a passionate and mutual affair, though its ending was just as tragic. Hyacinthus was a handsome Spartan prince whom Apollo adored, but he wasn't the only one who loved the youth. Zephyrus, the god of the west wind, was also infatuated with him. Driven by jealousy, Zephyrus altered the course of a discus Apollo threw, striking Hyacinthus fatally. In grief, Apollo transformed his lover's blood into the hyacinth flower, its petals marked with Ai, the Greek cry for sorrow, as a tribute to his lost beloved. If you could name it, Apollo was probably its god. He reigned over music, poetry, art, prophecy, truth, healing, archery, and even plague. As if that weren't enough, he was also associated with the sun, though the role originally belonged to the Titan Helios. His gifts in music were unparalleled. Apollo could enchant anyone with his lyre, which he often played alongside the muses. But Apollo's pride in his skill could turn vengeful. In one famous contest, he challenged the satyr Marsyas, who played the aulos, a double-piped reed instrument. When Marsyas nearly matched his skill, Apollo, unable to tolerate the competition, cheated by flipping his lyre upside down, a feat Marsyas couldn't replicate. As punishment, Apollo flayed Marsyas alive, hanging his skin on a tree. In another contest, he competed against Pan. When King Midas dared to declare Pan the victor, Apollo cursed him with donkey ears, a permanent mark of his folly. Apollo's devotion to his mother, Leto, was legendary. Leto suffered greatly at the hands of Hera, who despised her for Zeus's infidelity. While pregnant with Apollo and his twin sister, Artemis, Leto roamed far and wide to find a safe place to give birth. As Hera had forbidden any land to offer her refuge, she finally found sanctuary on the floating island of Delos. But Hera's anger didn't stop there. After Apollo's birth, Hera sent the monstrous Python to harass Leto. At only 4 days old, Apollo took up his silver bow and arrows, slaying the giant serpent in a feat that immortalized him as a god of archery and protection. This victory over Python secured his place in Delphi, where he established the oracle, a place where mortals could seek his divine wisdom. The Delphic oracle, presided over by the priestess Pythia, became one of the most important sanctuaries in Greece, a place where Apollo's prophecies would guide leaders and lay people alike for centuries. Apollo's encounter with his clever younger brother Hermes is a story of humor and creativity. Soon after his birth, the trickster god Hermes stole 50 of Apollo's prized red cattle as a prank. He cleverly disguised their tracks, leading them backward to confuse any pursuers. When Apollo discovered his missing herd, he eventually found Hermes, who had crafted a beautiful lyre from a tortoise shell to entertain himself. Apollo was so enchanted by the instrument's music that his anger melted away. He willingly traded his cattle for the lyre, which became his iconic instrument and one of his greatest symbols. This tale marked the beginning of a respectful, if mischievous, relationship between the two gods. Twice, Apollo was stripped of his divine power by Zeus. The first time, it was due to an act of vengeance. Apollo's son, Asclepius, had become such a skilled healer that he managed to resurrect the dead, a power that defied Zeus's laws. Enraged, Zeus struck Asclepius down with a thunderbolt. In revenge, Apollo killed the Cyclopes who forged Zeus's weapons, leading Zeus to punish him by sending him to live as a mortal. During his time as a shepherd for King Admetus of Thessaly, Apollo softened, learning humility and compassion. He became close to Admetus, even helping him cheat death at one point by convincing the fates to grant him more time. Apollo's second punishment came when he joined Poseidon in a plot to overthrow Zeus. Zeus, furious at their betrayal, sentenced both gods to labor as mortals, this time in service of the Trojan king Laomedon. Together, Apollo and Poseidon built the towering walls of Troy, walls so formidable that they would later shape the fate of the city during the Trojan War. Laomedon's refusal to pay the gods for their labor provoked Apollo's wrath, and he later sent a plague upon the Trojans as retribution. This act connected him forever with the Trojan conflict, one he would influence time and again through his powers of plague and healing. Apollo's mythic life is filled with moments of divine brilliance and human-like vulnerability. He is both protector and punisher, healer and bringer of plagues, lover and avenger. As god of the arts and prophecy, he inspires with his creativity and insight, yet his pride can be as fierce as his love. Apollo's many stories remind us of the unpredictable nature of the divine and the striking blend of light and darkness that makes him one of the most captivating figures in Greek mythology.